Dr. Elias Ward had spent 7 years traveling between alien worlds, but nothing on any planet dusty, frozen, or burning ever prepared him for the silence of a rescue ship after midnight. The Astraeus glided through deep space like a silver arrow, quiet and steady, with only the hum of engines to break the stillness. Most of the crew slept. Only a few lights shone in the wide corridors, glowing faint blue like weak moonlight. Elias walked through those quiet halls with a tablet in his hand and a tired face. It had been a long day. They had brought aboard a single survivor from a destroyed colony, a young alien girl named Lyra. She belonged to a telepathic species called the Vesari. Their minds were sensitive, delicate, and full of strange abilities humans barely understood. Lyra was the only one left alive after the attack on her home. Her presence on the ship changed the entire atmosphere. Some crew members spoke softly around her. Others avoided her completely, unsettled by her silent eyes and trembling hands. Elias had spent hours trying to talk to her, trying to understand what happened to her world. But she said only two things, her name, and that she didn't know how she survived trauma. He told himself, she is in shock. She needs time. Now he was finally heading to his quarters, hoping for sleep. He reached his door, pressed his hand to the panel, and the door slid open with a soft hiss. But before he could step inside, he heard it, a whisper, very soft, very close. Dr. Ward? His heart jumped. He turned quickly. Lyra stood behind him, her skin, a pale blue tone like frost, reflected the corridor light. Her large silver eyes looked even bigger in the dark. She wore the loose medical shirt the crew had given her. She looked so small, so fragile. Her fingers curled against her palms as if she were trying to hold herself together. Elias blinked. Surprised. Lyra, is something wrong? She stared up at him, her breath unsteady. She opened her mouth as if her voice might crack. Then she whispered, trembling, I can't sleep alone. Elias straightened. For a moment, he thought he misheard her. You can't, what? Her eyes shook with fear, but she didn't cry. She looked like someone who had already cried too much to ever cry again. When I sleep alone, she said, her voice barely louder than her breath, the dreams come. They find me. They tried to pull me away. Elias felt a cold chill along his arms. Dreams? He knew telepathic species sometimes projected emotions during sleep. But pulling away was something else. Gently, he crouched to her height. Lyra, can you explain what happens? Are you having nightmares? She shook her head hard. Not nightmares. Not mine. Something else. Something searching for me. Elias had spent his career studying alien psychology. But this was new. He chose his words carefully. Did something follow you from your colony? She looked down. For a moment, she didn't answer. Then she whispered, it took everyone. It wanted me too. Elias felt that chill again, deeper this time. Something had destroyed her colony. No survivor except her. And now she said something was still looking for her. He didn't know if it was trauma, imagination, or something real. But he couldn't ignore that fear in her voice. Come, he said softly, let's go to the medbay. We can, but before he could finish, a sudden spike of static crackled through the corner speakers. A sharp sound, harsh, wrong. Both of them froze. A second later, the lights flickered. Only once. Only for a moment, but enough to make Elias feel like the entire ship had shivered. Lyra grabbed his sleeve with surprising strength. Please, she whispered urgently. I can't be alone. If I sleep alone, it will find me again. Elias looked at her hand on his sleeve. She was shaking. Her pulse raced under her skin. He exhaled slowly. He couldn't ignore this. Whether psychic disturbance or pure fear, the girl needed someone. All right, he said gently. You don't have to be alone. Come with me to the observation lounge. It's quiet, and you can sleep on the couch there. I'll stay awake for a while. She nodded quickly, relief flooding her face. Her hand loosened, but she didn't let go completely. Elias led her through the ship. The corridor lights glowed softly under their feet. Lyra followed close, walking lightly, almost silently. Humans made noise when walking. Her steps were quieter than falling dust. The observation lounge lay at the ship's front. It had a wide curved window showing the endless stars. It was peaceful, almost like looking into a calm ocean that stretched forever. Elias always came here to think. They entered the room. The stars poured in, bright and silent. Lyra looked at the couches, then at the window. Her breathing slowed. Her shoulders dropped slightly, less tense. Is this okay? Elias asked. She nodded. It feels less dark here. She curled onto the couch carefully, as if the cushions might break. Elias pulled a blanket from the storage panel and draped it over her. She watched him with wide, uncertain eyes. You're safe, he said softly. No one can hurt you here. Lyra hesitated, then whispered, It doesn't hurt me. It wants to take me. Elias paused. Take you where? She hugged the blanket to her chest. Into itself. He didn't understand. Not fully, but the fear in her voice was real. He took a seat in the chair across from her, giving her space but staying close enough that she could see him easily. The stars reflected in her silver eyes. For a long minute, she didn't speak. She slowly closed her eyes, her breathing settling into a gentle rhythm. Elias watched her carefully, worried she might wake up screaming or worse. He relaxed just slightly when her body finally loosened. She was asleep. The room was quiet. Then it happened. The air changed, not temperature, not pressure, something deeper. Almost like the silence itself grew heavier. Elias felt a faint ringing in his ears. The observation window dimmed for a second, as though something unseen moved across the stars. Then the monitors on the wall blinked with a spike in atmospheric readings. A strange pulse. Elias rose from his chair, heart beating fast. On the couch, Lyra twisted slightly. A small sound escaped her throat. Not fear, but pressure, like someone calling her from far away. A whisper filled the room. But not from her. Not from him. Not from any speaker. A whisper inside the air itself. Elias felt the hair on the back of his neck rise. He stepped closer to Lyra, unsure what was happening. Suddenly, her eyes snapped open, silver and terrified. It found me. Elias froze. The monitors spiked again, higher, sharper, unnatural. The lights trembled faintly. In that moment, Elias understood something simple but terrifying. Lyra wasn't scared of the dark. She wasn't scared of nightmares. She was scared of something real. Something that could reach her through her mind. Something searching for her. And it had just arrived. For a moment, Dr. Elias Ward did not move. He simply stood there, frozen in place, staring at Lyra's wide, silver eyes. They glowed faintly in the dim room, reflecting the star field behind her. The reading monitors on the wall continued to spike with strange bursts of energy, sharp, irregular, and unlike anything the ship had recorded before. Lyra gripped the blanket tightly. Her small hands trembled with fear. The whisper in the air faded, but the pressure remained, like the room itself held its breath. Elias stepped closer. Lyra, he said softly, tell me what you're feeling. She pressed a hand over her heart, as if trying to calm it. It's searching. It can sense me. Because I fell asleep. Elias glanced at the monitors again. Telepathic resonance spikes. Much too high. Much too strange. Is this the same thing that destroyed your colony? She nodded slowly. It came in dreams first. No one understood until it was too late. He felt a strange coldness deep in his chest. Dreams, how? The Vesari dreamed together, Lyra whispered. When one mind sleeps, others feel it. When danger touches one mind, others can sense it too. Elias understood the basics of her species' telepathy, but hearing it explained like this, soft, simple, terrifying, made it feel much more real. In this thing, this presence centered your shared dreams? He asked. It pushed through, she said. Like a great shadow. It split our dreams apart. It took pieces of each mind, one by one, until the colony fell silent. Elias swallowed hard. How did you survive? Lyra shook her head. I don't know. I woke up alone. Everyone was gone, and the silence felt wrong, empty, like the world had exhaled its last breath. The monitors spiked again, higher now. A long beep echoed through the room. Elias forced himself to remain calm. Okay, he said. We're going to figure this out. But first I need you to stay awake for a moment. Lyra nodded quickly, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. I'm trying. Elias reached for his tablet. He glanced at the readings. Telepathic surge, non-human frequency, unknown origin. Not good. He opened a direct channel to the ship's command deck. This is Dr. Ward, he said quietly, not wanting to alarm Lyra. I'm in the observation lounge. I need a sensor sweep of the telepathic bands. Something unusual is happening. Captain Hale's calm but tired voice responded. Unusual how? Spikes in psychic energy, Elias said. Foreign frequencies. There was a pause. Then, understood. Starting sweep now. Elias lowered the tablet, exhaling slowly. He sat down on the chair near Lyra's couch. She watched him closely, as if needing constant reassurance that he was still there. Does it know where you are? Elias asked gently. It can sense my mind, she whispered. When I sleep alone, the signal is strong. When someone is close, the signal weakens. Why humans? Elias asked. Why does our presence make it harder for this thing to find you? She hesitated, thinking. Your minds are quiet, gentle, like a soft field that weakens the noise from mine. Elias blinked. Quiet, humans? Lyra nodded firmly. Compared to Visari minds, yes? Human thoughts are steady, simple, warm. They don't shine as brightly. So when a human sleeps close to me, your quiet mind spreads around mine like a blanket. The thing can't hear me clearly. Elias stared at her, stunned. Human mind's a shield. Before he could question further, Captain Hale's voice returned through the comm panel. Dr. Ward, our sweep detected a faint telepathic disturbance. Direction unknown. It's coming from outside the ship. Elias stiffened. Lyra's fingers curled tightly around the blanket. The captain continued. Is your rescued passenger calm? Her emotional state could be affecting the readings. Elias looked at Lyra, trembling on the couch. She's awake, he said, but the disturbance might be connected to the events on her colony. I need time to study this before jumping to conclusions. Understood, Hale said. Keep me updated. The comm fell silent. Lyra whispered, It's close now. I can feel it pressing against the edges of my mind. Elias knelt beside her. What can I do to help? She looked at him with desperate eyes. Stay close, please. If I fall asleep alone again, it will pull me into the dream. It will take me like it took the others. Elias nodded without hesitation. I'm not leaving. Her shoulders relaxed slightly. She leaned back against the couch, breathing shakily. But the room still felt heavy, like invisible threads pulled at the air. Elias grabbed a portable scanner from the emergency cabinet. He switched it on. A small hologram flickered to life above it, showing waves of energy in the room. The readings formed a strange pattern, circular ripples expanding outward from Lyra. Elias frowned. What is this? It's my mind, Lyra whispered. It's reaching out without my control. Elias narrowed his eyes. The pattern looks like a beacon. She nodded again, voice small. It is. That's why I can't sleep alone. Suddenly the scanner beeped sharply. New waves appeared, incoming ones, foreign, larger, stronger, they clashed with Lyra's ripples, creating violent distortions in the hologram. The air in the room thickened, almost vibrating. Lyra gasped, pressing her hands against her temples. It's pushing. Elias dashed to her side. Lyra, it's trying to break through, she cried. It wants to drag my mind into its space, its dream. That same whispering pressure filled the air again. The lighting dimmed, but the power system remained stable. It wasn't electrical, it was psychic. Elias placed both hands gently on Lyra's shoulders. Stay with me. Keep your eyes open. Her breathing became fast and shallow. She squeezed her eyes shut, then forced them open again. It's too loud, she whispered. It hears me. It's calling me. Elias looked at the scanner. The foreign waves were tightening, spiraling inward toward Lyra's mental signal like a predator narrowing in on prey. He had to think fast. Humans weaken her signal. He repeated that thought over and over, and then he made a decision. He sat beside her on the couch, close. Not touching, just close enough that their shoulders almost brushed. Lyra's breathing eased slightly. The scanner reacted instantly. Her signal dimmed a bit. The foreign waves faltered. Elias blinked. It's working. Lyra whispered, humans are calm. Your minds don't shout. They soothe the noise of mine. Elias took a slow breath. Then I'll stay right here. For a long minute, neither of them moved. The scanner waves softened. The pressure in the room weakened. But not enough. The foreign presence didn't leave it, only paused. Circling, Lyra, Elias said gently, "What exactly is this thing? Is it a creature? A mind, a being?" She shook her head. "Not one mind, many, all connected. A hunger that thinks." A silent storm. Elias felt his heart sink. "A collective?" She nodded. "We call it the Maw." He felt a cold weight settle inside him. "Was it created or born?" "No one knows," she whispered. "But it looks for telepaths. It feeds on them. It becomes them." Elias understood now. The Maw destroyed her colony by consuming their minds, not physically, but psychically, a predator in the dream world. He leaned back, forcing his mind to remain calm. "Then we need to prevent it from finding you." "It already found me," Lyra said. "But it hasn't reached you," Elias replied. "And it won't." The scanner showed the foreign waves slowing. Human presence, human calm was confusing the Maw. For the first time, Elias felt a spark of hope. "Lyra," he said softly, "I think humans might be invisible to this thing." Lyra blinked. "Invisible? Our minds don't operate in the same telepathic spectrum. We're like blind spots." Lyra stared at him, hope flickering in her frightened eyes. "And that means," Elias continued, "we may be the only ones who can help you." Lyra exhaled shakily. "Then humans might be the only reason I'm still alive." The scanner pulsed once more, soft, hesitant. The Maw's presence lingered at the edges, probing, listening. Then slowly fading away, the room lightened. The air eased. The pressure dissolved. Lyra sagged against the couch, exhausted. "It's gone. For now." Elias remained beside her, determined. "Then we'll make sure it never reaches you again," he said firmly. Lyra nodded softly, eyes heavy with fear and hope mixed together. As she drifted toward sleep again, slowly, carefully. With Elias nearby, the scanner readings fell steady and quiet. But Elias knew the truth. This was only the beginning. Something ancient and hungry was searching the stars. He stayed in the observation lounge with Lyra, watching the stars move slowly past the curved window. The scanner readings were calm now, soft waves instead of violent spikes. But Elias knew the creature, the Maw, had not given up. It had only retreated. Lyra slept lightly, her breathing soft and steady. Even in sleep, she kept one hand slightly lifted, as if reaching for something that wasn't there. Elias sat on the chair beside her couch, rubbing his tired eyes. He had seen many strange things on alien worlds, but nothing had frightened him quite like the invisible presence that filled the room earlier. Nothing had ever made the ship feel watched. He checked the time. 3:17 hours. The ship was still dark. The crew still sleeping. Only he remained awake. Suddenly, Lyra twitched. A soft sound escaped her throat, half gasp, half whisper. Elias stood immediately. Lyra, her face tightened. Her eyes moved rapidly beneath her eyelids. Her fingers curled into the blanket. Something was happening. The scanner beeped again. A sudden rise in brain activity? No, not again, Elias muttered, stepping closer. He placed a gentle hand on her arm. "Lyra, can you hear me?" Her breathing sharpened. "Elias," she whispered, voice trembling. "It's calling me." Elias felt his stomach twist. "I'm here. You're safe." But she shook her head weakly. "Not all of me." Before Elias could ask what she meant, a wave of exhaustion washed over him. His vision blurred. The world tilted. He tried to steady himself, but the darkness came too fast. The room dissolved. The stars vanished, and Elias fell into a dream that wasn't his. The dreamscape opened his eyes slowly. He stood on a vast, empty plain. The ground was smooth and dark like black glass. A silver mist drifted around him, moving in strange patterns. The sky above was an endless swirl of gray and pale blue. Elias breathed shakily. "What is this place?" A voice echoed behind him. "Not a place. A mind." He turned sharply. Lyra stood a few meters away, wearing the same simple clothes she slept in. But her form flickered slightly, like she wasn't fully solid. "This is the dream," she said. "But not mine alone." Elias looked around. The landscape felt endless, yet hollow. How did I get here? Lyra stepped toward him. You were close to me when I slept. Our minds touched. Humans usually stay separate in dreams, but your mind is calm and open. So you slipped through. Elias exhaled slowly. So this is the dream world of the Vesari? She shook her head. This is the Maw's door. A cold chill ran through him. Elias looked at the horizon. The mist thickened in one direction, forming a moving wall of gray that pulsed like a heartbeat. Lyra's eyes widened with fear. It's searching. Elias stepped closer to her. Lyra, I need you to tell me everything. How did the Maw destroy your colony? She clasped her hands together. It started with dreams. It reached our elders first. They thought it was a sickness of the mind. But then, it pulled one of them away. His mind simply vanished. The next night, more vanished. Elias felt a lump in his throat. Vanished how? Did they die? They lost themselves, she said softly. Their bodies remained, but their minds were gone. Empty, silent. Elias's heart pounded. So the Maw absorbs telepathic minds. Yes, she whispered. It feeds on them. It becomes stronger with every mind it takes. The mist thickened again, rolling toward them like a tide. Elias instinctively stepped in front of her. What does it want with you? Lyra's voice cracked. I heard it in the dreams before everyone fell. It said I was different. My mind was. Louder, stronger. It wanted me. The colony tried to hide me, but the Maw pushed too fast. Too hard. Elias clenched his fists. So your mind is a target. And because you survived, it kept searching. Lyra nodded. It never stops. As long as I sleep alone, it hears me. The mist wind howled. A shape appeared within it. Elias's breath caught in his throat. It wasn't a creature, not in any form the human mind could understand. It was a mass of shifting pale lights, swirling and twisting like a storm. Voices echoed from it, whispers, cries, fragments of thoughts from thousands of minds. Lyra grabbed Elias's arm. Don't listen. But the voices pushed into Elias's thoughts. Join. Open, come. We hunger. He stumbled back, pressing his hands against his temples. Stop. Get out. Lyra stepped in front of him. She raised her small hands and shouted, Leave him? The storm paused. For a moment, it almost looked at her. Elias forced himself to stand. His vision blurred, but he stayed behind Lyra, feeling useless but determined. Lyra's voice trembled. You can't have me. The storm swelled, lights flickering faster. Elias grabbed her wrist. Lyra, wake up. Wake both of us up. Lyra shut her eyes tightly. Her whole body shook. It's too strong. If I wake suddenly, it might pull me with it. Elias felt panic rising. Then what do we do? She didn't answer. Her eyes filled with tears. The storm moved closer. The whispers grew louder. We know you. We want you. Come into the silence. Elias grit his teeth. If it only sees telepaths. Maybe it doesn't see me clearly. Maybe I can confuse it. Lyra looked at him in shock. But you're not trained. Your mind could break. Or it could stay invisible long enough to distract it, Elias said. Lyra shook her head. It's dangerous. Elias stepped forward anyway. Humans are stubborn. Even in dreams, he faced the storm head on. The whispers washed over him like icy water. But he took another step. Leave her alone, he shouted. The storm twisted, rippling with strange patterns. It didn't understand his mind. It couldn't read him. He was a blind spot, a glitch, a confusion, just as he hoped. The storm hesitated just for a moment, but that moment was enough. Lyra grabbed his hand. Hold on, she whispered. I can pull us out now. The storm surged forward suddenly, roaring with thousands of angry voices. Elias tightened his grip. Do it? Lyra closed her eyes and screamed a high, desperate sound that shook the dreamscape like thunder. The world shattered. The plane cracked. The sky split. The storm faded into fragments, and darkness swallowed everything. Back in real, Elias woke with a sharp gasp. He sat on the floor of the observation lounge, breathing hard, his heart slamming against his ribs. Sweat dripped down his forehead. Lyra sat beside him, also gasping, clutching her chest. Her eyes were wide and terrified. You came into the dream, she whispered. You were in danger, Elias said between breaths. I couldn't let it take you. She shook her head. You don't understand. Humans don't belong in dreams like that. Your mind could have broken. But it didn't, Elias said, standing with shaky legs. Lyra stared at him scared, amazed, confused. You confused the maw, she whispered. It didn't know how to read you. It couldn't grasp your thoughts. Elias sat beside her on the couch again. Then we have something it didn't expect. Lyra lowered her gaze. Humans, you. He nodded. She looked up at him slowly, her voice trembling with hope. So you think humans can't fight it? Elias looked at the scanner. The maw's signal was weaker now. It had been pushed back. Yes, he said quietly. I think humanity might be the only species it can't fully see. Lyra released a shaky breath. Then maybe we have a chance. Elias nodded, resolve hardening inside him. We're going to fight back, and we're going to win. Lyra leaned against the couch, exhausted but no longer hopeless. The maw had taken countless minds, but humanity had finally stepped into the dream, and the maw didn't know what kind of enemy it had just awakened. The ship Astraeus woke slowly with the first shift of artificial morning. Lights brightened to a soft gold. The hallways filled with quiet footsteps. Crew members stretched, yawned, and prepared for another day in space, unaware that something terrifying had entered their ship. During the night, Dr. Elias Ward was still in the observation lounge. He hadn't left Lyra's side since the dream. His mind felt tired and heavy, but also strangely alive. He had stepped into a world humans were never meant to enter, and survived. Lyra sat curled on the couch, hugging her knees. Her eyes looked dull with exhaustion, but calmer than before. The maw hadn't returned since the nightmare ended. For the first time, she wasn't shaking. Elias checked the scanner again. Faint readings. Low waves. No sign of the storm-like presence. He took a deep breath. We need to tell the captain, he said. Lyra nodded. Yes, this time. The whole crew must know. They walked together through the corridor. Lyra stayed close to him, nervous but determined. When they reached the command deck, the doors slid open with a soft hiss. Captain Hale stood near the main console, speaking quietly with two officers. She turned as Elias entered, raising an eyebrow. Dr. Ward, she said. I didn't expect you this early. How is our guest? Lyra stepped slightly behind Elias, her fingers gripping his sleeve. Hale's expression softened as she noticed the girl's tired face. Not good, Elias said. We had an incident last night. The captain frowned. What kind of incident? Elias hesitated. How could he describe something that happened inside a dream? Something not physical, yet powerful enough to shake the mind. He chose simple words, Captain. An external telepathic force tried to reach Lyra through her sleep. I saw it myself. It's the same thing that destroyed her colony. Hale stared at him. You're telling me you experienced a telepathic attack? Elias nodded. Not exactly an attack, more like an invasion. The room fell silent. The officers exchanged uneasy looks. Lyra stepped forward, her voice soft but steady. It is called the Maw. It feeds on telepathic minds. It wants me. Hale's face hardened. Why you? Because my mind is strong, Lyra said. It wanted to absorb me. My people hid me, but it found us. It took everyone. I escaped only because I woke early. Hale crossed her arms. How close are we to danger? Elias tapped the control panel and showed the scanner readings from last night. Swirling waves. Violent spikes. Foreign psychic signatures. The captain's eyes widened. This is not minor. No, Elias said. And it's getting stronger. He took a deep breath. But we discovered something important. Hale waited. Humans weaken its connection, Elias said. Our minds are too different. The Maw struggles to read us. And when a human is near Lyra, especially when sleeping, her telepathic signal gets softer. Harder to detect. Hale blinked in surprise. You're saying humans act as a psychic shield? Yes, Elias said firmly. If we use this correctly, we can protect her. Maybe even fight back. The captain tapped her chin thoughtfully. If this is true, we must prepare a defense. Lyra swallowed hard. It will not stop. It will come again. Maybe not tonight, but soon. Elias stepped forward. Captain, we need a controlled environment. A place where Lyra can sleep while surrounded by a human presence. Not just one mind, many. Hale frowned. You want the crew to sleep around her? Yes, Elias said. A shared, synchronized sleep cycle. Human minds forming a quiet field around hers. It might confuse the Maul long enough for us to study it properly. The captain hesitated, unsure. Lyra added softly, if we don't do this, it will follow me forever. And maybe it will find others too. Hale exhaled slowly. Very well, we'll gather volunteers. But we must be careful. Elias nodded. I'll monitor everything. The captain gestured to an officer. Prepare the medical bay. Clear space for group rest. Set up scanning equipment. The officer hurried off. Hale faced Lyra again. You are safe on this ship. We will not abandon you. Lyra looked at her with grateful, shining eyes. Thank you. Later medical bay had been transformed. 8 padded chairs and couches formed a circle around a central couch, Lyra's sleeping place. Above them, holographic scanners shimmered softly, ready to measure every mental wave. Several human crew members arrived, curious and concerned. They were pilots, engineers, communication officers, ordinary people now asked to fight an invisible enemy. Elias explained everything in simple words. About the Maw, about Lyra, about the shared sleep cycle. Many were afraid. Some doubted. But one by one, they agreed to help. Humans stand together, one engineer said. Even in weird dream battles, Lyra watched them with a mixture of awe and confusion. She had never seen so many people volunteer to protect someone not from their species. Elias placed a chair beside Lyra's couch. I'll sleep here, he told her. Right next to you. Her voice trembled a little. I'm glad. The crew slowly settled into their seats. The lights dimmed to a warm glow. The scanners hummed softly. Elias checked the equipment one last time. Everything looks stable. When everyone is ready, we begin. The crew nodded. Lyra lay down, pulling the blanket to her chest. Her breathing was tense at first, then slowly calmed. Elias sat beside her, leaning back. The captain's voice came over the speaker, firm and steady. Beginning synchronized rest cycle. All crew remain calm. Trust your team. One by one, the crew members closed their eyes. Lyra's eyes fluttered. She reached out, touching Elias's arm lightly. I'm scared, she whispered. I know, he said. But you're not alone. Her breathing slowed. Her body relaxed. And then she fell asleep. The resonance against scanners flickered with gentle waves, human brain patterns. Slow and warm. Then a new wave appeared at the center. Lyra's telepathic resonance. It pulsed softly, like a weak heartbeat, but instead of expanding outward like before, her signal was surrounded by the human waves, quiet, gentle, forming a kind of soft barrier. Elias watched the monitor, amazed. It's working, he whispered. The human crew slept peacefully. Their presence dimmed Lyra's psychic glow. Instead of shining like a beacon in the dark, her mind became a small, protected ember. But suddenly, the scanner beeped, a faint disturbance. Foreign. Approaching. Elias single quotes as breath caught. It's back. Lyra twitched in her sleep. The scanner showed the Maw's presence, distant but searching, like a predator sniffing for prey. The crew's waves remained calm. Lyra's signal flickered with fear. Elias reached out and gently took her hand. Her signal steadied. Then, something incredible happened. The human brain waves, those simple, warm patterns, began mixing with hers. Not merging, just touching, soothing. Like dozens of quiet voices humming together to drown out a scream. The Maw's presence faltered. Elias leaned forward, eyes wide. It doesn't understand the human field. It's confused. The foreign signal twisted, searching, pushing at the edge of the barrier, but it couldn't find the clear beacon it expected. It circled, slowed, weakened. The human presence was working, but the Maw wasn't finished. It released a sudden, sharp pulse, a psychic strike meant to break Lyra's mind. Lyra whimpered in her sleep, curling tighter. Elias squeezed her hand firmly. Hold on, you're not alone. The crew members shifted slightly but didn't wake. Their steady waves absorbed the blow, spreading it thin. The Maw's presence shuddered, and then it retreated. The scanner lights shifted from red to orange to pale blue. Safe for now. Lyra woke first, gasping sharply. She looked around, confused and frightened. Elias squeezed her hand gently. We did it. She looked around the circle of sleeping humans, ordinary people who had chosen to protect her with nothing but the quiet strength of their minds. You all protected me, she whispered. Elias nodded. And we will again. Lyra wiped her eyes. The maw felt weaker. It didn't understand the human signal. Good, Elias said. Because next time, we're not only going to block it. He looked at the scanner with determination. We're going to fight it. Lyra stared at him, a fragile spark of hope growing in her voice. You think humans can defeat it? Elias smiled faintly. I think humans can do what no other species expects. The ship Astrais floated in deep, black space. Its engines hummed softly, unaware of the invisible enemy preparing its next attack. Inside the medical bay, Dr. Elias Ward stood beside Lyra, looking over the scanner readings from the night before. The human mind shield had worked. The maw had been confused, weak and even, but it wasn't defeated. Elias knew it would come back. He also knew they had only one chance to end this forever. Lyra sat quietly on the central bed, her legs tucked under her. She watched him with tired but hopeful eyes. Is it coming again? She asked. Yes, Elias said honestly. It was searching. It will try harder next time. Lyra lowered her gaze. I don't want your people to get hurt because of me. Elias shook his head. You didn't bring danger. It found you before we ever met. And now that you're here, humanity has a chance to stop it. Lyra looked up slowly. You really believe humans can defeat it? Elias breathed deeply. I believe humans are stubborn. We don't run. Not when someone needs help. Her expression softened in a way he hadn't seen before. Your people are strange, she whispered, but very brave. Captain Hale entered the room just then. Her face was serious, but her voice held a quiet strength. We've reviewed all the data, she said. Dr. Ward, what's your plan? Elias turned the screen toward her. We use the same method as last night, he said. A synchronized human field. But this time, we guide the wave. Not just block the maw. Push back. Hale blinked. Push back? You mean a psychic counterattack? In a way, Elias said. Humans don't have telepathy. That's our advantage. Our mental patterns are noise to the maw. If enough humans enter a calm sleep state together, the noise becomes overwhelming, like static, like a storm of signals the maw cannot read or control. Hale crossed her arms. And Lyra? She will act as the center point, Elias said. Her mind connects to the field. She can focus it and direct it. Lyra looked uneasy. It will feel pain. It will try to break me. Elias stepped closer. But you won't be alone. We'll all be there with you. The captain nodded firmly. How many volunteers? Elias exhaled. As many as possible. The crew gathered later that day. The announcement echoed through every hallway of the Astrais. All crew members willing to participate in the synchronized defense cycle. Report to the medical bay. And they came. Dozens. Humans of all backgrounds. Mechanics, pilots, cooks, scientists, cleaners. Some were afraid. Some confused. But all of them understood one thing. Someone needed help. Someone innocent. And humans don't abandon others. Elias looked around the crowded room, amazed. We can't fit everyone here, he said, almost laughing. Captain Hale stepped forward. We'll use the observation deck as well. Link the scanners. We create the connected fields. Lyra watched the humans move chairs, blankets, and equipment with quick determination. She held her hands to her chest, overwhelmed. My people never had this, she said softly. We were always alone, always hiding. You humans, you face danger by coming closer to each other. That's our way, Elias said. Night falls. The final preparation ship lights dimmed. The scanners glowed in soft blue and gold. The whisper of machines filled the rooms as the crew settled into chairs, mats, and couches. Lyra lay in the center of the medical bay again. But this time hundreds of humans rested around her, some in the same room, others on the observation deck above. Linked through the synchronized scanners, Elias sat next to her. As always, you ready? He asked. Lyra took a shaky breath. I will be, Elias touched the back of her hand lightly. "We will be." Captain Hale's voice came through the speaker system. "Crew of the Astraeus, this is not a normal mission. But today, we show what humans do when something tries to take what we protect. Stay calm, trust each other, and sleep well." The lights lowered. Soft music played. A wave of quiet breathing spread across the ship. The synchronized sleep cycle began. The return of the Mawat first. Everything was peaceful. Human minds drifting into sleep. Soft waves blending together. Calm, warm patterns filling the scanners. Lyra's mind floated among them, gently supported. For the first time since fleeing her world, she didn't feel alone. Then the cold came. A distant pulse. A deep vibration. A shadow brushing against the barrier of human minds. The Maw had arrived. The scanner line spiked violently. Elias, half asleep, tightened his grip around Lyra's hand. Even as he drifted deeper into the shared dream-state. Inside the dream space, Lyra stood alone in a gray field. The Maw's presence loomed above her like a storm cloud. Growled with 1,000 silent voices. "You cannot hide." Lyra clenched her fists. "I'm not hiding." The Maw surged forward, but something blocked it. A human. Elias. He appeared beside her, solid and steady. Then more shapes appeared behind him, dozens of humans from the Astraeus, forming a circle around Lyra. The Maw recoiled, confused, its voice twisted angrily. "Your minds. They are wrong, chaotic, meaningless." Elias stepped forward. "Good. That means you can't control us." The Maw pushed again. Harder. The ground shook. The dream sky cracked. Lyra winced as pressure built behind her eyes. Elias raised his voice. "Lyra, connect with us. Use the field." She reached toward the humans. Their mental presence was warm, buzzing like gentle static. When she touched them, the field expanded, bright, chaotic, noisy. The Maw shrieked in confusion. "Stop this!" But the human wave surged. Elias shouted, "Everyone push." The field responded. Dozens of human dream images pressed forward. Their minds not sharp like telepaths, but messy, stubborn, unpredictable. The Maw shuddered violently. Lyra felt its confusion, its frustration. The human noise was like fire against its psychic senses. It tried to pull away, to retreat, but Lyra stepped forward, hands glowing with the energy of the combined field. "You destroyed my home," she said. "You hunted me. You hurt so many." The Maw writhed. Lyra raised her arms, and the human field poured into her strength, courage, stubborn resilience. "We end this," she whispered. Then she released the wave. A burst of chaotic human mental energy, warm, bright, impossible to control, crashed into the Maw like a star exploding. The creature screamed, silently, cracked, shattered, collapsed, and then it vanished. Gone. Forever. Aftermath. Lyra gasped awake. The medical bay lights flickered back on. Humans around her stirred slowly, blinking in confusion. Elias sat up with a groan. Did it work?" Lyra looked at him, tears filling her eyes. "Yes." She shook as she said it. "It's gone. I felt it die." The Maw is finished. Cheers erupted from the crew. Some hugged each other. Some cried. Some simply sat there in shock. Captain Hale entered, breathless. "What happened?" Elias answered, voice full of quiet pride. "Humans happened." The next morning's ship was calm again, safe. Lyra walked onto the observation deck, where stars stretched endlessly in front of her. Elias joined her, leaning beside her against the railing. "How do you feel?" he asked. Lyra smiled gently. "Free." The word felt strange on her tongue, but true. Elias nodded. "You'll stay with us, right? The Astraeus can be your home." Lyra looked at him, her eyes soft and warm. "Humans gave me something I thought I lost forever," she said. "Hope. I want to stay. I want to learn from your people." Elias held her gaze. "We'll be glad to have you." She turned back to the stars. For the first time in her life, the galaxy felt safe, because humanity stood beside her, loud, stubborn, brave, and full of heart.